What you making, DIYers? It's Walker with DIWHY.LIFE. Thanks for joining me this evening. Tonight we're going to do a build along. We're going to make one of these beer box cowboy hats together. I'm going to walk you through the process, show you everything that's involved. Should be about 45 minutes to an hour to start to finish. We're going to jump right on in. I'm going to assume that you've already got your materials ready, you downloaded your template. Check out the link in the description of this video where you can watch my other video where you can learn how to download the template and what materials you'll need to make the hats. So actually, shoot, I forgot my my White Claw. Let me grab my White Claw. I mean, the good thing about making beer box cowboy hats is you get to have a refresher while you do it. So cheers, let's get started. I will make one mention. At some point, I'm going to switch right now to the other camera so you can see what I'm doing down here a little bit better. But at some point, the camera, I fear, will run out of batteries and it'll die. So I'm going to have to switch back to the iMac, run around, switch the battery, and then we'll be back up and running. But hopefully, I can make it through the whole thing without that happening. So let's go ahead and switch cameras. I see somebody's joined us. Leave me a comment if you can so I can see you're there. All right, so you've got your template downloaded and put together just like I showed you in my other video. And you've got your, got your carton here. I recommend, you're gonna need 3. I recommend using 18 or 24 packs. Because you're going to have a lot more material to work with, and you're going to be able to place your logos a little bit better. 12 packs can work, but if you use a 12 pack, your hat's going to be a little bit smaller. See, this is a 12 pack hat, and this is an 18 pack hat. So it can be done, but your hat may just end up a little bit smaller. All right, so what we're going to do is you're going to want to disassemble your box. Try to do it as carefully as you can. Try not to rip it, because if you rip it, you may mess something up down the road. I mean, as I'm completely destroying this one. All right. So here's our box all laid out. Now, we take our template and we lay our template right on top. Go ahead and we'll decide where we want our logo to be placed. Now keep in mind, the front of the hat is going this way, so you want your logo to actually be upside down on this panel. And so here's a logo that we can put upside down. Actually, that one's facing that way. Let's go this way with it. So that way, that logo will be dead center right in the middle there. So it looks like it actually works out kind of nice to where it's right on this seam right here. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and flip the box over, and it was dead center, and we'll just put it back where it was, right there. And now we trace. So we'll trace out our template. Make sure you get in these little cracks and crevices down here. It doesn't have to be super exact. My hands are sticking to this a little bit. So just draw a line like that. Like that. I like to use Sharpie. You can use a pencil or something, but Sharpie just stands out a little bit better. Reminder, so there are these little cracks here that you need to cut out. Make sure you cut these out and make sure you mark them. I've done it a couple times where I forgot to do the cracks. All right, I think that's everything. Oh, almost forgot the crease. We got to mark the crease. There's a section in the middle here you got to mark for your crease, just like that. All right, so that does it for that template. Now we just cut it out. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'll try to peer up every once in a while to see if anybody's there. One thing I'll be doing, if you go onto Facebook or YouTube and you share the link for this video, or actually if you share any link of my videos, link to my channel, anything, and you tag DIY, DIWHY.LIFE, tag me, and I'll give out one of these hats. I'll ship you a hat for free. Just let me know which one you want, and yeah, for free. Actually, looks like this one needs to go a little bit further up. Right. Trying to do this quickly without hurting myself. You always want to be careful not to hurt yourself, especially when you're drinking beers and White Claws and you're using knives and hot glue guns. Man, the hot glue gun. Talk about hot. I burnt myself a couple times with that thing. Probably should have put a brand new blade on this thing. It's not super sharp. On my other video, I kind of do this trick where I just speed up these sections. That's how the video gets down to be about 15 minutes long. But in real life, it takes about, 45 minutes or so to actually make a hat. Also want to mention the very first beer box cowboy hat video I made. I was actually using another YouTuber's video. His name is Dan Prosser, and he's got a bunch of great beverage hats that he makes. So if you're into this kind of stuff, definitely check out his channel. He's got a bunch of different. He's got visors, he's got all different kinds of hats, all different brands, and he's great. Give him a like and sub. Tell him I sent you. Almost done with the cutting portion. All right, everything seems to be cut out. looking good there. We're looking good there. Okay, I think we're looking good everywhere. So once you got it all cut out, now we're going to start gluing it up. And what we're going to do is we're going to bend these over and glue them together just like that. And one thing you want to keep in mind is you can glue them this way or you can glue them that way. I guess it really depends on the hat. We wouldn't want to do it like this for this hat because then it would cover up the logo. So we're going to go underneath. So I'll glue it. All right, like this. I hope I have enough glue to get me through this project. So you just kind of bend it in and hold it down like that. Give it a couple minutes for the... one thing we want to do before we get too far is score this line right here. You're going to want to score it without actually cutting through the cardboard. If you can, just give it a nice score. Okay, glue this one. And then we do the same thing in the back. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. I'm peeking up every once in a while to see if anybody's asking anything. In my other video, I talk about making a hat out of a political sign. It was during the elections, and our mayor, you know, this guy Todd Gloria was running for San Diego mayor, and he ended up winning. And so I had made a hat with his name on it out of one of his campaign signs. And I gave it to him, and he was thrilled. He said he hung it up in his office. See, I just had something come apart on me. This cardboard isn't super great for hot gluing. It tends to want to pop off on you, and if that happens, just glue it back down. May take a couple of tries. Or maybe you, if you stop applying pressure too soon before the glue has had a chance to completely cool down, that sometimes causes it to pop apart. But that looks pretty good. Now we're going to do our sides. And again, on the sides you can choose, I kind of like it when the sides come in like that. So I think we'll go ahead and do that. Same kind of idea though. Just gluing it like a triangle. And I really wish my cord was on the other side of the table. See if I can move that over here. Ah, much better. Hello to my one viewer out there. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'm doing this just for you. All right. Got this side gluing down. It's looking pretty good there. We just got to glue one more side down, and then we can give it our first test fitting. I apologize if it's a little hard to see what I'm doing in this video. I'm just gluing it down and holding it in kind of a here, let me try doing one facing you guys. Let's see. I'm basically laying down a bead of glue in kind of a triangle pattern like that. And then I'm folding this in and pressing down like that. So hopefully that helps you understand. My other video does a much better job. It's a better angle. It's an overhead angle. It's kind of like what I'm doing. So yeah, that's about how it looks so far. Looking pretty good. Got the white claw right in the middle up there. Got some black cherry on the side. So let's go ahead and give it our first test fitting. And it's a little loose, but actually that's pretty good, because when it's a little loose, you can just tighten it up by gluing a headband inside, and it's way more comfortable with the headband inside. So I'm liking how that's going. The next thing we're going to want to do is make some marks on a piece of paper about 1 inch apart. So I've got, this is a legal piece of paper here. Make a mark every inch on this piece of paper. And then we'll cut a little strip here. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay this across like so, and just make some marks going across the front here. Something like that. So we'll make a mark here, 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 here. Doesn't have to be super exact, but you do kind of want to do a straight line across the hat. Now we'll do this side. So try to match up the dots from the other side. This is actually, it ends up going right over a hole here in the back, so can't really do a whole lot about that. We got a mark, mark, mark. Now that you got all of your marks going all the way around the bucket, take a pair of scissors and cut up to the mark all the way around, straight up, and stop at the mark. This is going to give us a bunch of tabs that are going to allow us to connect our brim to. Looks like I've gone all the way around. And now we just bend up these little tabs all the way around. And if you get a tab here that's like a double, you can just cut one of them off. You don't need a thick double tab. This one can get cut off. Everybody still with me? Good. If you're just joining me, we are in the process of making a beer box cowboy hat out of a White Claw seltzer box. We've almost got the bucket part done here. I'm about to start working on the brim in a second. I'm just bending up these flaps, going around the hat, cutting off any tabs that are doubled up. You can leave them too if you want. It just may cause a little bump in your brim. Everybody likes a little bump in their brim, don't they? I know I do. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I'm actually wondering if the comment section, even how it works, where they show up. I think I know where I think I can see where they show up, but I never know. This is my first time live streaming on YouTube, so bear with me as I am learning how this works along with y'all. All right. So this is our completed bucket. It's looking good. Give it another fit test. It still feels a little big, but that's good. That's fine. We can go ahead and move on to our brim now. But first, before we do that, we got to take a beverage drink break. Let me switch to so you can see. Pinkies up when you're drinking White Claw, kids. Okay. Thanks for joining. Oh man, I look like I'm sweating. I'm not, I promise. We got our bucket ready to go. We're about to make our brim. Thank you for joining me this evening on this live stream. Hope you're enjoying yourself. I know I am. So without further ado, let's get to the brim. One of the reasons I made my first beer box cowboy hat video was because Dan and Prosser's video was great, but it didn't show how to make the brim, and I was like, you know what, I'll make a video and I'll show how to make the brim, and if people like it, whatever. And people ended up really liking it, and Dan actually ended up really liking it. And now his videos look awesome and amazing, and it's all good. We're all pushing each other. So let's get back to the build here. Here's the template for the brim. I like to have a logo right on the front of the brim. It's kind of a nice touch. Unfortunately, this logo is so big, I can either get the White Claw or the hard seltzer, so I'm gonna go with the White Claw over the hard seltzer. Let's see, what about this one? I think I like this one better. Okay, so we just lay it out here, and it looks like it's about an inch away from this crease. So I'm going to flip it over, center it, and move it about an inch away from this crease here, and we'll go ahead and mark it. Try to hold it still while you trace the template. And right there, you'll see there's a little cutout notch, and I'm fine with that. In fact, when we do the bottom piece, the notch will be likely in a different place, and you won't even notice it. I'm not going to use this, well, maybe I should. Let me check this hole and see how it fits. It's a little tight. It looks like it's actually a little long, but a little tight on the sides. So let's see. I think I have another cutout that could work. I've got a cutout here from I actually made a hat out of a Vans shoebox for my son because he loves Vans. And I think this one is actually, yeah, this one's a little bit more of an appropriate size. So we'll go ahead and use this. For the brim cutout, and I think it goes this way. It doesn't really matter, but let me get it kind of centered here. If you're just joining me, we're making a beer box cowboy hat, kids. Buckle up, saddle up, I guess I should say. Get yourself a drink, sit back, and enjoy the show. All right, we are just gonna freehand this thing, man. Hopefully I don't lose a finger. And like I mentioned earlier, my digital SLR camera is running off a battery, and I'm anticipating it dying at some point. So if it does, bear with me while I have to change the battery. Hopefully it'll come back to life on for us. Oh. Ranit22 says, I want to make this, but in Canada. Our White Claws and Trulies don't come in boxes. Oh man. Well, what do they come in? Do they just come with the plastic, like 12-pack plastic things? Don't come in boxes. Why wouldn't something come in a box? That's just bizarre to me. Well, I'm sorry. Direct message me and I'll send you some boxes. I mean, I've got a bunch. I mean, you can see I got a stack of Coke and Pepsi ones back there. If any of those interest you, I'd be happy to send them. Alright, so once you get the first one cut out, you're going to want to be tempted to cut the second one out right away, but don't, because you want to check and see how the fit is, and then you can, when you cut your second one, you can adjust the fit to make it to be a little bit better. In fact, as I'm setting this down on the hat, it's looking pretty good side to side on the sides here. The front looks pretty good, but when you flip it around, boom, there's a big weird gap in the back. And actually a lot of that has to do with the fact that there is a big hole where the handle of the box was. So if I were to make another brim piece, maybe don't make it quite so big there. the opening. So let's go ahead and cut our second brim piece, and we'll just make sure that we leave a little bit more material. So I'm going to try to remember it was about an inch from there. Another thing you're going to want to do here is if you transfer it exactly like this, when you go and you flip it over and you go to put it together, they're not going to be matched up. So what you actually want to do is you want to flip this one over like this, so that when you put them together, they match up exactly, well, close to exactly. They never match up quite exactly, but they're closer. Oh, and before I finish this circle, remember we were just gonna make it a little bit tighter in this zone, like that. Give ourselves a little bit more material there. All right, I can't find the cap. I can't find the cap to my Sharpie. Oh, here it is. Ow! God damn! That hot glue gun got me. Yowza! Careful of the hot glue gun, kids. It's just trying to jump out and bite me. In fact, I don't even think we need the hot glue gun anymore. I could probably just turn it off, but what's the fun in that? There's got to be a little danger involved with any crafting project. No pain, no gain. Isn't that what they say? Man. All right. Raymond Habit says, that's really good cutting. Thank you. When I was in college, I worked in a picture frame. I worked where they do picture framing at Michael's in the picture frame department, and so I got good at measuring, crafting, cutting, slicing, trimming, all that stuff. Did it a lot, so probably why I picked up those impressive cutting skills. All right, so that's looking much better, much gooder. That's got a nice, it's kind of concealed that area a little bit, and when we go place our bottom brim piece, and you don't even need to brim the bottom if you don't want to. If you just want to buy, 2 18-packs, you could get away with that, but it will be kind of grody on the bottom. So I like to finish it off nice, have the nice white claw on the top and bottom, and everything looks perfect. All right, so you're also going to want to glue these together just like that, and you don't want to do that because you can't get the tabs in there. And my first video, I made that mistake, and then I had to pull it apart and stick the tabs in. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to remove my cutting surface. And I'm going to spray adhesive these things right here. Probably not the best idea indoors, but I don't think there's anybody here to stop me. I'm going to flip on my bandana for protection. Hi. thanks for joining me. We're making beer box cowboy hats. Shoot, I should probably just wear this one while I work. Just like that, Coors. And I mentioned earlier, if you share the link to this video, or if you share the link to my channel, anything, DIWHY.LIFE on Facebook, and I find it this evening when I'm checking out Facebook, I'll send you one of these hats. Just DM me and let me know if you want the Coors, the White Claw, the Truly, whatever. Let me know. So please tag, and it's at symbol DIWHY.LIFE to find me on Facebook. Thank you. All right, so moving right along. Mask up, and I'll switch back to the camera and put a fair amount of adhesive on this thing. Both sides. Making sure to get the edges real good. Inside edge, outside edge. All right, it's gonna start smelling real good up in here. Okay, so I can tell that this is my top piece because the cut is a little bit different. Let me bring back my cutting surface. That's totally going to glue down to the table. Awesome. This is our bottom piece. So we'll just kind of center it as best we can. Like that. Maybe tack it down a little bit. And then here's our top piece. Fold it right over. Top. And then press it down. Just like that. And you can see the bottom brim kind of peering out here, which isn't super ideal. You can always go back with a pair of scissors or something and trim that a little bit off. There. That's pretty good. So here's the hat with the attached brim. And you should wait probably, I don't know, 10-15 minutes for this to dry before you start shaping it. But I'm gonna go ahead and shape it a little bit. And what all that shaping involves is really just bending up the sides. And then bending down the front of the brim. And the back of the brim gets a little, I don't know, I guess you could do a dip down in the back, a slight dip down. But really it's about the sides and the front. The sides and the front need a good dip. All right, and there we have our White Claw hat. Let me give it another fit test. I have a feeling that it's still going to be a little bit big. Yeah, it's a little loose on the noggin. If I was riding the bull, this thing would be off in 0.5 seconds. So let's go ahead and hot glue a headband to this bad boy so that'll stay on when the bulls are bucking. We've got a headband here from my soccer bag, and I'm just gonna put a bead of hot glue down there, press it in hold it down. And that will hold down. Do the same over here. Give it a little stretch. Like so. Do it around the back here. And then around the rest of the hat. And we'll hold it for a minute. Let this dry. So what does everybody think? Was that as hard as you thought? I don't think so. What are we at time-wise? We're at 41, almost 42 minutes? Yeah. I think I estimated 45 to an hour, so we're a little ahead of schedule, actually. All right. Now, let's give it another test fitting. Oh yeah. Very snug. Very snug indeed. Man, that's a sharp hat. I like it. What do you think? Well, thank you for joining me, partners. Hope you enjoyed the Beer Box Cowboy Hat build along. And if you want me to do another one or you want me to make something else, just ask and I'll make it. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with y'all tonight. Man, I didn't even finish my White Claw yet. Shame on me. It's been a blast having you. Thanks for joining me. And look forward to seeing you again on a live stream real soon. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and we will see you next time. Thanks, guys.